fullness, you're going to know more than what John knew. You're going to know more than what John the Baptist knew because of Jesus. When Jesus looked at me, I couldn't believe the words I was hearing. I said, Lord, who could be your spiritual father? And he says, you remember what Moses said? And the Lord thy God shall raise up a prophet like unto me, similar unto me, whom you shall hear in all things. And when the Jews sent people to ask John about who art thou, they mentioned, are you that prophet? Talking about that prophet Moses spoke about. He said, no, I'm not. Jesus was that prophet. I said, you telling me Moses was your spiritual father in ministry? He said, yes. I said, you the son of God. I was also the son of man. Every man must come through the natural lineage of a spiritual father on earth. He says, you want me to do the DNA match for you? I said, yes, Lord. He says, who's the only prophet who had in the Old Testament who had a staff of 12? Then his spirit fell on 70. Then it went to 120. Moses. Who's the only prophet in the New Testament who had a staff of 12? Then 70. Then it fell on 120. Jesus. You think Jesus had that just because he was the Son of God? It had been done before. It was an inheritance. When you know who your spiritual fathers are, you know the patterns that should happen in your life in ministry. It says, who was the only prophet in the Old Testament? At 1 year old, an edict was sent out to kill all the firstborn, or the male. Moses. And then he had to be called out of Egypt, so that the prophecy might be fulfilled, that out of Egypt have I called my what? Son. Who's the only prophet in the New Testament that an edict was put out over his life after 1 year old to destroy him. And he had to flee out of Egypt. You want some more? Yeah. Who's the only prophet whose face began to shine on the mountain when he talked with God? In the New Testament, who's the only prophet in the New Testament whose face began to shout on the Mount of Transfiguration? Jesus. That was not because he was the Son of God. It was because he was the Son of Man from a lineage. When my face began to physically shine like that, I didn't understand. People didn't understand. I began to now understand what lineage, after Jesus began to say this, tears was in my eyes. Lift your hands and say, Lord, give me revelation. Come on, y'all want more mystery? Give the Lord a shout of praise right now. Jesus said to me, anybody who is born unto man comes from one of these lineages, the Mosaic or the Elijah lineage. Each one